How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to Salvage Auto Rebuilds, where today we are going to be starting off a brand new customer vehicle. So over here on our kitchen counter we have got a total of $35,000 in cash. So yeah guys, the car in question is going to be a 1978 Plymouth Fury. So yeah, that is something to look forward to today. But yeah, first of all, let's just stand back and admire our Chevy Camaro over here. Yeah, this thing is a true champ. And I actually noticed in the last video when we did the engine for this car, we actually forgot the oil filter. So when I drove it back home, I immediately noticed, yeah, something was not right. And we had to check the oil and it was low. And I had to actually walk back to the shop and buy myself an oil filter and some oil and had to sort that out. So yeah, luckily we didn't cause any damage to the engine and destroyed it. So yeah, that is at least a bullet dodged, if you ask me. But alright, so we need to get back to the shop, guys, and see what other work we gotta take care of today. So we also got the little Lada station wagon that we still need to sort out with a engine rebuild today. So we have got all of the parts for that engine, and it all has been color coded and chrome plated, as I like to call it. So let's head over to the shop, guys, and see what we can get done today. Alrighty, so here we are over at the shop, and we're just gonna hop out real quick, and there we are. Alright, so yeah, first of all, we've got our station wagon that we're gonna try and see if we can put the engine together. But yeah, just feast your eyes on this beauty over here, guys. So this is the 1978 Plymouth Fury. So it belongs to a guy named Brian, and he actually wants us to do a paint job on this car for him and also replace all of the interior. The interior is looking a little bit sad, so yeah, that is something that we can hopefully get sorted today, or not really today, but you know, start working on today. It's got some beautiful wheels on already, and the engine is actually in pretty decent shape. Can't really see as good over here, but yeah, we'll definitely get it under some better light a bit later on. So over here we've got a little bit of work to carry on with for the station wagon. So we've got the engine block and all new parts over here. So the guy did come and drop this off earlier this morning, and he stacked it neatly for us on the table, which is actually quite nice of him. And yeah, in other news, we also got our wheels back for the Camaro, which is great, because now that means we can actually get these mounted and take those black 5-star wheels off the car again, and just get this Camaro of ours put back to its well, somewhat original looking state. So yeah, I think what we're going to do first of all is we are going to move this car away from the door, because I think we're not going to be able to open the door with it currently parked there. So yeah, let's just see if this thing fires up and what the engine sounds like. Alright, well, there we go. She's all fired up and sounds pretty mean if you ask me. Alright, well, let's just get it into the yard. I think we'll just park it in this open spot right here next to our carport. Alright, that should do the trick. Alright, well, yeah, she definitely seems to be running pretty well. So yeah, that is another thing we're going to start working on today. So I actually got myself this sand shelf. It's a sandbag holder. It just organizes the shop a little bit better. So my plan is to see if we can start digging into this pickup truck of ours and sorting out the last bit of rust on it. And we've also got quite a few dents that I would like to see if we can get that sorted. So I'm thinking we might just take the bed off, because the cab itself should be fine. We just gotta maybe go through it again and just check if there are any dents left over that we missed. I might have some dings on this fender and that door and such, but we'll definitely have a look at it and make sure we can get this thing looking a little bit better. So in terms of paint job, well, I was thinking of a color change, guys. So I was thinking maybe we paint this truck just plain white, and maybe see if we can get ourselves a logo design for the shop and maybe put it on the door. So yeah, that is something that I'm gonna have a look at pretty soon here, guys. So yeah, but I think first things first, I want to see if we can get this engine put together. So for that, we are going to need our tools, which are inside the office over here. So let's just come ahead and grab the whole toolbox. And yeah, you'll notice this engine over here. So this is in fact the old engine that we took apart in the last episode. And I started ordering parts and I figured, well, we're almost going to try and replace everything on the engine anyway. So we just got new parts all together for the car. So I think that's hopefully the right decision here. And it's going to make the little station wagon a whole lot more reliable. Now, I did go ahead and replace some of the worn parts like the camshaft and the timing chain that we had on that engine. And the oil pan was also kind of in a sorry state. So this engine should be good to go into another vehicle if ever we need it. So yeah, I'm quite hopeful that is going to work out. We are also going to need the pressure washer because I'm going to be washing the pickup truck a little bit later on. So we'll just kind of get everything ready and get that sorted. And as for the wheels on the Camaro, we are going to use the floor jack. And I think we should be able to do this just where the car is standing at the moment. We don't have to move it into the yard as such. So we'll definitely get into that a little bit later. So yeah, I'm actually quite excited to see this car put back to its kind of original state with the original wheels. I think it's going to look a whole lot better. But alright, let's get cracking. We've got quite a bit of work to do. So I think let's start with this engine. Yeah, why did I open that drawer? Let's just grab our wrench. And we are going to start with the crankshaft. So all of the parts are very nicely chrome plated and they are going to look the part in the engine bay. So we're going to see how that's going to look once this whole thing is put together. Alright, so yeah, fortunately this is only a 4-cylinder engine, so it's going to go relatively quick. So we do have got some performance pistons going into this engine. Just going to get them all fitted and bolted down. Make sure we do this the right way. Alright, there we go. Alright, and the third one, let's just make sure we bolt them all down properly. Okay, so far so good. And the last one. Oops, I dropped it. Oh, hopefully it's fine. Come on, get in there. Alright, there we are. Alright, perfect. That is the pistons in. Now we're going to get our oil pan on, which is a very nicely chrome plated, as you can see. It's looking pretty flashy. Alright, so we've got a couple of bolts on this thing. Even back here, we've got 2 bolts. And at the front as well. So we just got to make sure we get to all of these and just make sure they are all nice and tight. Okay, so there are 2 at the front over here, looking pretty good. Alright, so that is the oil pan buttoned up. Alright, so let's start working at the top of the engine. So we're going to need our new head gasket first of all. Okay, so there's the head gasket on, and then we've got our cylinder head, which is also chromed. Looks pretty decent. So yeah, I think the little bit of touches we're putting to this engine is going to make it look a little bit more, you know, attention grabbing. It's going to definitely attract a little bit more buyers, hopefully. So yeah, hopefully things are going to work out for us. So we didn't go ahead and chrome plate all of the interior parts because it doesn't really make sense. But yeah, there we go. We've got our new camshaft and timing chain in. So let's go ahead and bolt this thing down. Pretty nifty looking. Alright, so we're also doing a performance camshaft in this engine, which is going to give it a little bit more power. And I think it's not going to be too over the top, hopefully. So we'll see. We've also got some performance spark plugs. So let's go ahead and get these in next. I usually tend to leave this for a bit later in the process of building an engine. But I think let's grab these real quick and just get them sorted. Then at least we know that part of the job is done. Alright, come on, third one. And the last one. Alright, come on, where do you want to go? There it is, okay, perfect. And just grab this and get this all zipped down. Alright, looking good. So we've got that sorted, and now we can carry on with the rest of the stuff, which I think are probably, yeah, let's just do the valve cover first of all. Let's get that onto here. Alright, we'll zip it down. Looking pretty good so far. I actually think this valve cover turned out very nice in this color. It's definitely a very nice little touch that we are adding to this thing. Okay, so let's get our water pump assembled here. Put the fan on there, and then we'll just grab the water pump and put this on here first. Okay, that should do the trick. And then let's not forget the oil filter, which is very important. I think it goes on the side at the front. There we go. Alright, so that is done. And now we can carry on with the rest of the stuff. So let's start with our pulley at the front. Alright, get that into place. And then we'll grab the alternator next. Alright, alternator goes over here. Okay, there's another bolt right over there. Looking pretty good. Okay, let's get the belt on. Okay, so that is sorted. And now we can probably start with these parts under the table as well. So let's start with the flywheel. The flywheel is very important. Alright, so the flywheel has been chrome plated, but yeah, I know we're not going to be able to see it really once this thing is put together. I think it's just a nice little touch for if ever the engine has to come out there and they can see at least we did go the extra mile getting this engine looking a little bit better. Alright, so just got to figure out all these bolts here. Okay, I think there's two more on the other side. Let's just get these zipped up as well. Alright, perfect. So that is now clutch plate and everything sorted. Let's grab some more parts from here. We've got our custom looking starter. Pretty nifty. Alright, there's a bolt down there. We've got it. Okay, there's our distributor, which needs to go in. I think it, yeah, it's probably at the front. There we go. Alright. There we go. Yeah, I just struggle to see a bit when it's dark like this. You know, it's the weather. The weather is just a little bit weird. Alright, but there's our new ignition coil. Let's just get that zipped down. I don't know if it's going to help if I turn the torch on. It might, so let's see. Okay, there's our fuel pump. Fuel pump goes right over here. Alright, looking good so far. We can probably get the spark wires on now, which are also chrome plated and yeah, looking all nice and snazzy. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good so far. Alright, let's start with the last bit of parts here. So we've got these ITBs, so individual throttle bodies, for those of you who don't know what it means. So we're going to be installing this on the car, and it's going to give it a little bit more power as well. And it's also going to look the part, if you ask me, with the chrome plating. It's just going to be a matter of finding all these bolts. Alright, I think it's better from down here. Let's just get it zipped down like that, and then we can grab our exhaust manifold. And we even went as far as sending the trailer hitch in for some chrome plating, so it's just going to look a little bit shinier on the car. Alright, there we go. That is our engine now almost complete. We just got to get this onto there, which is our header, or, well, it's like a downpipe, really. And last but not least, we've got our trailer hitch down here, which I actually need to get back on the car. So I think let's maybe grab this first. Let's take this all the way over there and just get this fitted. I see it might actually, yeah, it might actually look pretty good. Let's just see. Get that onto here. Alright, looking pretty nifty. That is definitely a nice little touch. Let's pop the hood, and we're going to drop the engine in now, and then we're gonna just get it mounted up and gonna add some fluids, which will definitely make this car run and drive again. Alright, we mustn't forget our fuel line on the table there. Alright, but there's our engine. Alright, let's bring this over. Alright, yeah, this is looking much more flashier than it did. Okay, so let's start with the engine mount over here. Let's just get that zipped down, and then we'll start these gearbox bolts down here. Yeah, now it's a bit of a bummer we didn't do the chrome plating to the transmission as well, but I mean, we can't really do everything and remember everything every time we do a project. Unless if we really take it step by step and just start from scratch, which we're not going to do. I think we have spent quite a lot of time on this car. And I think it's about time we start buttoning this thing up and start moving over to, you know, the next part of the business, which will be, yeah, doing customer work and also trying to build up our funds, because I think we need to start having a look at getting ourselves a bigger place. Because with the truck in the yard and that car over there, and yeah, we've got a little bit of space over there where the lift is, but yeah, I also wanted to see if we can get ourselves a proper 2-post lift, because that little scissor lift of ours has been doing the job, but I really think it's time we need to have a look at upgrading our tools like that a little bit, and also getting our own tire mounter. That'll be great. So I'm definitely going to be shopping around a bit for that once we know what's going on with the customer vehicle. And now I want to see if I can get the exhaust under here, which is actually on the other side. So I think let's grab it like this. Okay, and slide it under the car over here. Alright, and now we can just try and get it zipped down. I wonder if we're going to reach it from the top a bit better. That other one over there. I think that should do the trick. Alright, so exhaust is mounted and it is looking pretty good. Alright, so we also had the exhaust chrome plated. So I think last piece of the puzzle would be that fuel line on the desk. So let's go ahead and grab this real quick. And then we've got all our oil and our coolant, which I think we can actually take this closer to the car. Just pop it in our backpack here and then go and get this fuel line zipped down. And then I'm just going to do all of the fluids, the coolant and the oil. And then we're going to try and see if this thing wants to jump into life. Alright, so there's the fuel line. Let's just get it bolted down. Looking pretty good. Alright, so let's get the oil ready and the coolant. And open up the caps. And then we can just sort this out. And hopefully we'll see if this thing's going to jump back into life. Alright, so there we are. The oil has been filled up and so has the coolant. So I think we are pretty much done with this car now, guys. This thing is definitely quite a bit of a transformation from what it was. And I think it actually looks pretty good with the white wheels and the chrome hubcaps. And it's definitely, yeah, been changed quite a lot since we've got the car up and running as well. With these brand new door cards and everything installed on the interior, this thing is looking a whole lot better. Alright, so moment of truth. Is this thing going to fire up now? I think it's going to probably take a while to start first. So let's see. Crank it up a bit. And just get the fuel to the carburetor and there it is. Alright, so perfect, guys. So it actually started up pretty easy. Well, not really easy, but hopefully it will start up easy now. There we go. That is perfect. Alright. Well, let's take it for a little bit of just a move around and see what it does. It actually, yeah, I think this thing has got a whole lot more power now than it had. It actually shreds the tires. Alright, well, she's definitely running, guys. I think whoever's gonna buy this car is gonna have a whole lot of fun with it. Okay. Well, let's not go crazy here now. Let's just go ahead and park it up again. Alright, let's give ourselves a little bit more space between the cars here, and yeah, I think this thing's gonna hopefully fetch a pretty penny at auction. So yeah, for those of you who don't know, this car is gonna be auctioned off on my Discord server. So if you'd like to join the community, there will be a link at the end of this video. So do go ahead and join up, and maybe you can even be one of the guys who end up bidding on this car, and if you're lucky, maybe you'll even take it home with you. So yeah, there we go. That is our little Lada station wagon all done and dusted. So the only thing I still need to do is take it over to inspection, but I'm pretty sure that car will pass with flying colors because it is pretty much as clean as a whistle now, as I would like to say. Alright, so that part of the job is done for now. So we still need to do a little bit of cleanup there, but you know what, I'm just going to leave it there. So I think let's maybe, yeah, let's do this. We're going to probably do the wheels quickly on the Camaro. See how this thing's going to transform. So let's get our jack under the car here. Right, let's put this in there. Just lift it up nicely. All right, just easy does it. Okay, then we're going to grab these wheels and put them straight into the office. Okay, so start with this one, and we also need to get our wheel spaces changed out because we've got I think it's 100 more spaces on this car at the moment, so just to make these wheels fit a little bit better. So we'll just put it inside here, and we're going to grab a 50mm spacer off our shelf here, which I actually bought already. So we're going to be putting that onto this corner, and these can go inside. I think we'll just hang on to these for now. Alright, let's grab our first front wheel. So I think these are already aired up, but we'll just check them all when we load this thing back down. But there we go. That's our first original wheel back on the car. And we'll just get it zipped down nicely. Make sure it's actually nice and tight. Well, there we go. That is the first wheel on. Okay, let's do the first rear one next. Alright, get this old wheel off of here first of all. Alright, so yeah, I actually never paid the guy for these wheels and tires. Yeah, I still owe him a bit of money, so we'll get that sorted out, especially now that we've got a little bit of money again. Seeing as we've got a customer vehicle. My buddy Brian's Fury is definitely gonna need a little bit of work, and the budget he's got is actually pretty decent. Yeah, I think it was 35,000 I said. So I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to sort that thing out with interior and a paint job for that price. I am going to be taking the engine out of it though, so make sure we don't get any paint on the engine. So I think he wanted the car painted the same color as the engine, which is a kind of a dark blue. So we'll see how that's going to work out once we start working on it. But I'm thinking, first of all, we'll try and just strip the whole car and get rid of all of the rust. But okay, there we are. That is our Camaro now on two of its original wheels, which I think actually looks a whole lot better. Alright, let's come around this side. We'll just get the jack in under the car here. And just repeat the process. Yeah, this is it's a bit of a tedious thing to do with a floor jack, but you know what? It's a whole lot easier than trying to lift the car with our lifter over there. Okay, so let's grab the next wheel. Bring this over to the other side over here. This is for the front. It's a narrow wheel. And we'll grab the wide one for the rear real quick. Just bring this closer. Yeah, these wheels actually turned out pretty nice. They are definitely looking a whole lot better. It's just the one that we replaced or didn't replace or didn't send in for refurbishing that we've got. But it actually matches the condition of the ones that were refurbished. So I think it actually looks pretty decent and it works out at the end of the day. Alright, there's the old wheel spacer. Let's go and grab the right wheel spacer. Okay, just put this on the desk for now. Okay, there's our wheel spacer for the rear, which is a 40mm. And I think I may have messed up. Yeah, I think I did. Okay, so that wheel spacer on that side needs to be changed to the 40mm. Okay. Alright, well, not a big problem. We'll quickly swap it around. Okay, so yeah, I wasn't focused now. Let's just get this load back down. Alright, quickly go and rip off that back wheel on the other side. Yeah, I wanted to say that one looks as if it's a little bit too far out, but yeah, let's just rather get the right spacer on here. Alright, so 40mm needs to go at the back. Okay, alright, let's just get this out of the way. Alrighty, there we go. Alright, so yeah, enough jumping the gun. Let's just make sure we do this right. So yeah, that's the 50mm for the front. Okay, so that needs to go over there, and then we'll grab the 40mm right over here, which is for the rear. Yeah, there we go. It's going to work out. Alright, 40mm, and then we can get our wheel on. Okay, zip it down again. Alright, well, luckily it's not a big deal. So we sorted that out, made sure we got the right spaces on the right spot. Alright, now we can do the last wheel at the front on this side. Let's get that mounted. Alright, let's lift it up a little bit. Alright, perfect. Let's just grab the wrench Okay, let me put this inside while we are at it. Alright, let's just make a new stack of wheels on that side as well. Well, I think these things might fall over. We don't want to be causing any damage to them. Alright, let's get this last wheel off of here. Okay, there it is. And the wheel spacer. Yeah, these wheels were actually a great fit for the time being. But I think just getting the right wheels on the car is definitely going to set the whole vibe of this car off a little bit better. So there we go. We've got our original wheels mounted back onto our Camaro, which I'm very happy with now, guys. It's actually looking a whole lot better now. Alright, so I was thinking of even painting these, maybe changing them to chrome plating as well, but you know what, we haven't gotten that far yet with those, so we'll see whenever we need them for a project in the future. We should be able to get whatever needs to be done with those wheels. So yeah, now we've got a set of 100mm spacers, which I'm thinking we'll try and see if those can maybe go on the truck and kick the wheels off the truck out a bit. But I might want to replace the tires on that then, maybe get some, you know, all-terrain tires maybe. I don't know. We'll still decide what we do. Because we are going to start giving the truck a little bit of love now soon. Okay, let's just put that back where it belongs and grab our wrench. And we're going to go over to the custom vehicle next. So yeah, definitely a whole lot of things going on today, guys. So yeah, our Camaro is looking a whole lot better with the OG wheels. So yeah, do let me know in the comments if you think the original wheels are just a whole lot better for this car. I personally think it just looks a whole lot better. So in terms of bodywork for the Camaro and interior work, we're not going to be touching that just yet. So at the moment, we're not going to be, you know, working any more on this car. We might a little bit later down the line see if we can replace this quarter panel, because I don't think we're going to be able to weld this up and fix that rusted away parts over there. So I guess we'll see how it goes eventually if I wanted to really make this thing look pretty. And we've also got a similar issue over here at the front, a little bit of rust there, but you know, it gives the car a bit of character, and it just makes it look like a very unique vehicle at the moment. So yeah, I don't know if I really want to go ahead and change it at all. But alright, so yeah, as I said, customer vehicle. So we need to get this thing stripped down. And having a look at this thing, we don't really have to do a whole lot of derusting. It's just the front part of the grille. Looks like that's the only rusty part on the car. We've got a little bit of rust on the rocker over there, which isn't too bad. Okay, same story there. Nothing under the trunk lid over here. Looks pretty good there. Alright, this rocker panel looks good over here. Yeah, not really a whole lot of rust. So I think if we took the fender off and see if we can take this front end apart, we should be able to get to this. But I think to play things safe, I'm going to remove the engine first of all. So let's maybe do that first. Let's undo the gearbox bolt over there. And we'll also do the engine mount on this side. Alright, that was loose. That's a bit of a weird one. Okay, Brian, buddy, your engine was loose. Okay. You know what? It's not a big problem. I don't think... yeah, at least that one was tight. But this is all loose. So that's a bit of a weird one. Okay, and the car still ran and drove quite fine with that. So, very interesting. It probably just barely made connection, but okay. Alright, let's get the alternator wire off, and then I think the engine is going to come out probably with the exhaust. So let's just rip it out like this. Okay, so we've got it out, and this we are just going to put far away from the car. Alright, I think that's fine. Nice and out of the way, and there's the fuel line, which isn't the greatest. So, yeah, in terms of the condition of the engine, let's just see. Yeah, this thing is actually spotless, so I'm going to see if I can get maybe the color code off of this engine when we do the painting. And, oh, okay, yeah, there we go. It's got some oil in it. Oops. Let's just get the dipstick back in here. Where does it go? There we go. Alright, so I think let's see if this front end can come apart. But you know what? I think maybe let's just push the car back a bit. Yeah, the handbrake isn't very strong, so This is a bit of a bummer. I don't know if we're going to have to figure that out. Suspension work. We might have to just check everything. Alright, let's get this fender off of here first of all. Okay, is the fender loose now, or are there anything else holding it down? I think maybe on these we need to cut the fender off, because I think it's welded as well down here. It's quite a bit of an interesting car to work on this, guys, so we're gonna definitely try and see if we can figure this thing out. Okay, let's get the front bumper off of here. Okay, so there's our front bumper. Just put that over here, which is also a little bit worn. Now, I don't know if we're going to be going as far as replacing all of the body panels on this thing. That's probably why we've got a 35k budget, because there's going to be a whole lot of stuff, you know, underlying that we're going to have to try and figure out. So there's our grill. Alright, the grill is also a little bit banged up. Okay, the headlights also just pop out. Yeah, headlights also a little bit worn, so I don't know if we're going to be able to get these refurbished, but I think our buddy should be able to get that sorted out for us, who's been doing all of our chrome plating. And now as for this fender, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we got to try and see if this fender is going to come off, or if I'm going to have to do it like this on the car. If it doesn't come off, you know, I'm not going to struggle too much with it. We're not going to make too much work for ourselves. We'll just get the... Whoa, okay, that trim just decided to fly over there. It's a jumpy little thing. Okay, the trim doesn't look too bad. Okay, let's get this blinker off. And so most of the stuff on this car actually just pops off with the pry tool. There's our side light. That's what they call it, or a side blinker, side markers. Okay, so there's our emblem for the fender. It says Fury, which is pretty fancy looking, but that one is a little bit worn. Okay, so in order to work on this fender, we might as well also take this chrome trim off of the side here. Alright, so there we go. That piece of trim is off, and now we're going to just uninstall this one from the door as well. Just put it down here somewhere. And now I think we are good to actually start. Maybe, I think, wait a second, let's take this windscreen out as well, because that might also be a bit of a in the line of fire, if you ask me. Okay, so the windscreen come out, and we're just gonna set it down over here, nice and easy. Okay, all right, so this wheel might also be a little bit of a problem if we start sandblasting. So I think let's do it like this. Let me go and grab the floor jack. Let's just maybe change the wheel on that corner, because that way we can work on it without any issues. Alright, we've got some old wheels laying around, because I don't want to end up busting these pretty wheels he's got on the car up, you know. So let's go ahead and avoid that altogether. Okay, lift it up a little bit over on this side. Okay, let's grab the wrench. We're going to take this wheel off. Oh, these are actually the same wheels that we had on the Firebird. Just notice that now. Yeah, they are two, the same ones. Okay, that is pretty cool. Alright, let's come and grab a wheel from here. I think, yeah, let's maybe take this one off. That tire is a bit way too far gone. Well, all of these are a little bit far gone, so we'll just put an old one on. Alright, put this wheel on here so that this car can actually just sit on, you know, an old wheel in this corner where we're going to be working on the bodywork now. So let's lower it back down. Okay, and then we can get our sandblaster and just see if we can sort this rust out. I see we've got a nasty rusty hole over there. So if I can't fix that with the welding machine, I might have to replace the fender, which is going to entail a whole lot of other things to take care of here, guys. So let's just see if we can do this. Now I should probably also just remove the battery. You know, that'll be a good thing to do. Make sure the battery is not going to get any, you know, problems or fry the electronics in the car. Okay, let's put the battery down over here for now, which is also kind of bad. So, alright, let me try this. Yep, it's not going to get fixed up. So we're going to have to try and see if we can get this fender off of you guys. So I don't know how that's going to work. It's going to probably entail cutting off something. Yeah, doesn't help we try and pry it off. Okay. Alright, well, let's grab our plasma cutter then. A nifty little tool that I decided to get myself, which actually came in pretty handy so far with all of the other panels we've been taking off cars. Alright, let's see how this is going to work out. Alright, so... Yep, just as I thought. So we're going to have to cut over here, most probably. Is that going to free up the fender? Nope, not yet. And maybe it's this one. Let's just see. There we go. Alright. So the fender is off. And now I wonder where I'm going to find a fender for a 1978 Fury. Well, I guess we'll have to do a little bit of searching and see if we can find one. Maybe even if we can find a second-hand one from the junkyard, that'll be great. But now I think this front end, let's just check it out. Let's turn on the torch again. Right, I don't see any missing metal on this part, so I think we are good to maybe sandblast that. Yeah, the hood is actually good. Okay, which is a good thing. Alright, so let's grab our sandblaster. And we're going to try and see if we can do this without, you know, damaging anything else. Alright, pretty simple. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit tricky getting the right angles to spray the sand onto this thing. Alright, well, just gotta see if I can get to that little bit over there. Just gotta find the right angle for it. There we go. Alright, well, I don't think it's perfect. Might actually be. Not too bad. Alright, that is definitely as good as I'm going to get it. Most probably. Okay, and just by having a look at the suspension now, we can actually see that there are some worn parts under here. So that shock absorber is shot, and there's an upper control arm looking a little bit in a sorry state there. So yeah, suspension work is also going to be something we have to go through on this car. So I think for now, let's start stripping the rest of the stuff off. Just wanted to check something. I think we do have got some primer left. Yeah, we've got 2 full cans of primer, which is great. So that means we can at least get this thing primed up as well. So let's maybe go ahead and do that. Get this car stripped a little bit further. Let's just move our toolbox out of the way. And make sure we don't trip over this jack either. Let's just put the jack over here. Alright. I don't think this is really in the way. Okay, let's just get our plasma cutter put together again. Alright, and put that over there. Okay, and now we've got to strip off quite a bit of stuff still. So I think let's just get to it and do it. So starting with this door, let's take this mirror off, and then that way we can also inspect all of the parts and see what are going to have to be replaced, what parts we're going to have to send in for refurbishing. I think our guy is actually so good, he will actually be able to refurbish almost everything. Some of the trim pieces aren't too bad, so I'm definitely going to have a look around and see what parts we're going to be able to reuse, and yeah, just keep them one side. Come on, can we get this door handle off? Yeah, that's actually so nice if things just pop off, you know, with a pry tool. Alright, well, let's just continue and taking these things off carefully. Alright. Yeah. Definitely a whole lot of decent stuff here, guys. But also a whole lot of stuff that I might actually just have refurbished anyway. Get it looking a whole lot better. Okay, that's a small door handle for the left rear. I don't know. It looks like it's the same thing that goes on the front. Might be interchangeable. Don't know. Alright, some more trim. Yeah, this car's got a crap ton of trim. So we're just going to have to go through everything maybe twice and make sure we got all of the parts off. Yeah, this Fury has got a whole lot of trim, guys. It's It's almost a bit unnecessary if you ask me, but I guess back in the 70s, that is just the way that cars were built, you know. Alright, let's carry on back here. We can probably pop out this rear glass. And I haven't noticed any glass in the doors. I don't know. Let's just see. Is there anything? Yeah, there are. Okay, well, we're going to probably have to take the door cards out as well. Now, how does this door card come off? Are those... Yeah, those are screws. Okay, so let's grab the screwdriver and we'll just do it one step at a time. Yeah, a whole lot of disassembly going on here, guys. And I think this is actually a lower and an upper part of the door card, which it is. Okay. Now, that's going to make it a little bit interesting if we wanted to do a two-tone interior in this car. Well, I guess we'll have to check with the customer what he would like. But yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff, and come on, let's just get this screw. Alright. Okay, so there's a whole lot of stuff to still figure out with this car. Right, so that door is off, and now we can probably pop this window out. Alright, let's put the windows all on this side over there. Alright, rear door card. That's the wrong tool. Alright, let's try this and get this screw out of here. Okay, so that is the upper part of the door card. Yeah, definitely a whole lot of interior parts as well on this car. So I was actually worried about all of the trim, but yeah, I think there's a whole lot of stuff going on here. Now, gotta figure out where these other screws are. Okay, so there's one. And there's one. Okay, so this door card is off, and looks like this door was pink at some stage. I wonder if that was the original color of the car. I wouldn't be surprised, you know, in the 70s they had all kinds of weird color combinations on their cars. Okay, there's the other door glass. Okay, so we are definitely getting there. Alright, there's another blinker on the rear. Alright, looking good. Okay, in terms of interior, we'll definitely have to get into that as well and sort that out. What in the heck is going on here? Okay, well, it's a bit weird. I don't know how this bench seat comes out. We'll probably have to inspect it a little bit. There should be some bolts somewhere. Well, let's maybe do the rear one first, because at least we can see the bolts on that. Come around this way. I actually forgot about this rear, well, quarter panel, or rocker panel rather. The rear seat doesn't look too bad, so I just don't know how this freaking bench seat comes out at the front. Gotta be a way to figure it out. We just gotta find it. Alright, so I think I figured this out. So it actually unbolts from underneath the car, which is pretty interesting. So we've got the bench seat out at the front, which is also... Yeah, it looks good, but it's definitely seen quite a bit of wear. Alright, so let's put that down over there for now and continue stripping the rest of the stuff off this car. I wonder if this rear bumper is going to come off without any issues. Let's just see. Okay. And what is going to come with it? Alright, well, we've got the bumper off, which is, it's great. Also a little bit worn, and so the taillights are also mounted onto this, so that is actually something we need to strip a bit further. Same with the front bumper. We've got some blinkers in there as well, and I think some bumper guards are also going to come off of those bumpers. So yeah, there's just way too much stuff to take care of on this car, but we'll just take it one step at a time and make sure we get everything sorted out. So yeah, there we are. That is looking good so far. Okay, this trim can come off. Yeah, luckily we've got this space around the side here for all of the trim and stuff coming off the car. It's definitely going to require a whole lot of work to get this car looking great again. Alright, so there's another emblem. And we'll continue with some more trim on this side, guys. So I was thinking of maybe a stack over here. Maybe a pile of parts over here. Yeah, I think let's do it. I have to walk all the way there with the parts each time. So I just put it down on this side and I'll get everything sorted out off camera a little bit later on. There we go. There's our other piece of trim for this side. And we've got a piece of trim over here on the side of the roof. Yeah, this car's got all sorts of trim everywhere. Alright, well, I guess I'm just going to have to keep at this. Alright, are we getting there? Slowly but surely. There's another door handle on that door. And another piece of trim on this. And we've got another door card set to take off. So let's get our screwdriver again. Alright, yeah, this is quite a bit of a chore working on this thing. But you know what? At least we've got some work to do again. Because I was wondering if we're going to get another customer anytime soon. But yeah, looks like the work starts pouring in once once you think you are done with something. You just start the next thing, and that's pretty much how life goes, you know. Okay, so we've got that out, and now we can pop the window out. Okay, we'll just put it down over here, and hopefully the wind doesn't blow this freaking trailer into the car. Because we chose a very odd spot to start working on this thing now. Okay, I wanted to see how does this rear view mirror come off. I think that's also held in with a screw, but okay, we'll have a look at that in just a bit. Alright, yeah, some of these screws are sometimes so hard to get your screwdriver on them. Well, there we go. Just gotta take it nice and easy. Yeah, and if I turn the torch off, I can almost see it a bit better, but yeah, then I can't see anything else. Okay, there we go. Alright, pop this glass out. Okay, we'll just put it down over there. Alright, close up the door. Let's take this trim off. Yep, a whole lot of trim. There's our door mirror. Antenna. Also pop this off. Alright, front fender trim. And the emblem. And then we'll do the side marker on the fender over there. Alright, so that is now everything on the exterior, if I'm not mistaken. It looks pretty good. Okay, so now let's start figuring out this interior. So you've got to take this window off. I think let's just maybe go this way. Got to take this mirror off. Not the window. Yeah, I don't know if I just said window, but okay. Yeah, the mirror needs to come off. Okay, and then, yep, there it is. Okay, headliner. Alright, the headliner is definitely not too bad. Let's just put it all the way over there for now. Yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff coming off this car. And that's kind of why I'm looking for a bigger shop, guys, because then we've got a whole lot more space to sort stuff out. And, you know, if we're not going to be working on something at the moment, we can just set the parts aside then. Because at the moment, it's going to be a case of, as we get projects in, we need to finish a project before we can start a next one, because we don't have space to put the, you know, the current one we are working on, if that makes sense. Alright, so there we go. Lower dashboard. I think that'll come out with the cluster. Pretty good. Alright, so the lower part of the dashboard is also quite a bit worn, but the upper part is completely shot, which actually makes sense. Okay, so let's see if we can get the rest of these itty bitty parts out of here. So we've got a gear stick. Just got to figure out where the bolt is exactly. Okay, so there's our gear stick. And now we've got the pedals. Yeah, we are definitely gutting this poor car, but I think it's it's better to do it this way, make sure we get everything out of the way. And that way when we start sandblasting or priming this thing up, we don't have to worry about anything, you know. I am, however, not going to be taking this off, because otherwise the car's going to be moving about too much. Alright, so yeah, look at me starting at, you know, the bodywork side of things on a car, which is not a bad thing. It's just usually you would rather fix up your mechanics first and then get your car looking good. But in this case, I think we're going to do it the other way around. I mean, it gives us a little bit of a different angle of approaching this car. So let's go ahead and swap out the rest of the wheels, because I do not want to end up damaging these wheels, because they are absolutely beautiful wheels. Right, so we've still got a couple of wheels over there on our tire rack. So let's just get some old wheels over there. I can probably use these as well. Let's grab these. It's just that one which is a little bit weird, and the tire profile is smaller. Yeah, we're not going to use that one. Okay, so let's grab this one. Okay, we'll put these on the other side. Alright, let's just close up the door. Oh, I've got a door handle over here. Okay, let's just grab the door handle real quick. Okay, put that down over there. And then, I think let's quickly grab our floor jack, which I put all the way over here. Alright, yeah, looks like we're not going to be getting to our truck once again in this episode, because this car's taking up a whole lot of time, actually. But it's fine. Our truck is still at least mobile in case we need it, because I didn't expect us to get a customer vehicle so soon. But we'll eventually get to the truck, guys. I really want to start working on it. At least now we've got our station wagon done, so it's going to give us a little bit more time to maybe work on the truck as well. Alright, so we're just going to bolt up 3 bolts on each wheel. And we'll get this out of the way. I might actually just put this inside the office a bit later on. Make sure they are nice and safe inside rather than laying outside our shop. Alright, let's lower the jack down. We're going to go over to the other side. Let's go and do this side as well. We've got the 2 wheels. Yeah, we're going to have matching wheels on this side for the time being. Oh. Alright, come on. Let's just operate the jack here. There we go. Nice and high. Alright, so I think I may have accidentally... Yeah, there we go. Alright, sorted that out. Okay, get this wheel on. I actually like the style of these rims that came off the Firebird, but... yeah, we don't have a suitable car for it, really, for these types of wheels. We'll see. Eventually we might look for a muscle car next project vehicle. See if we can find something that's a little bit banged up, maybe in a little bit better condition, but also still salvaged, you know. Because that is what we're doing here, after all, salvage auto rebuilds. Because I take it this car was probably also salvaged at some point and brought back to life, and now we've got the job to put it back on the road properly. Alright, so let's get our sandblaster here, because I want to blast away the rust on that rocker panel that we missed earlier. I actually forgot about it. So okay, let's get this over here. Okay, just blast it away, and we are out of sand. Okay, luckily I do have got a couple of bags of sand now. And we've got our nifty shelf over here for it, so which is great. Alright, pop that into here. Oh, come on, can you go in there? Alright, so guys, it looks like the sand that we've got for our sandblaster from the shop is not the right sand. So I'm going to have to try and see if we can find the right sand for this thing. I think this is probably just a little bit of an issue. So, you know what I'm going to do for the rest of the rust on that thing is just grab the angle grinder here. From our trusty old toolbox. Okay, so we're gonna take that off. Okay, let me just go and find the grinding wheel, which is all the way over here. Okay. Okay, let's put this on here, and hopefully this is gonna work. Just in sorting out this last bit of rust. So I don't know what's up with our sandblaster. Okay, so there we go. That rust is taken care of, and we've got a little bit on here as well, which I think looks good. Yeah, we've got it all. So yeah, pretty nifty. And I was just checking out this. This isn't rust. This is just a different color, because looks like somebody attacked this poor car with a can of spray at some point, and I don't know what they did. But okay, I think what I need to do next is grab the air compressor, and we're going to see if we can quickly get this thing primed up, because yeah, the last thing we need is to still get a fender for the car, because that fender can't be fixed. But I will try it again off camera and see if I can maybe fiddle with it a bit and try and get it sorted out. So we've got our air compressor, and let's grab our paint gun, or spray gun as you guys may know it as well. Okay, so there's nothing in there at the moment, so let's come and grab some primer over here. I might as well grab both of them, so you might need more than one. And it looks like the car has got some primer on it already, so the body is pretty much prepped quite far. It's just he hasn't gotten around to taking care of all of the rust himself, so we're going to go ahead and do it for him. So I think let's do this quickly, get this thing primed up as well as we can, as good as we can. As good as well as, yeah, you know what I mean. Alright, so I think that is it, guys. We managed to get this thing primed up pretty well. It looks pretty decent now. At least the car is one color, and I think it's actually a good thing we started with bodywork, because yeah, once that is out of the way, then we can start just focusing on getting the suspension and all of the mechanics sorted in this car. Although the car isn't in terrible condition, it's actually looking pretty good for its age. And I think once we put a nice coat of paint... Whoa, I just nearly tripped over my compressor here. Yeah, once I get a fresh coat of paint on this thing and get it, you know, clear coated and polished up, this thing's going to look a whole lot better. And then it's just going to be a matter of sorting out the rest of the parts on it and getting that all figured out and ordered and refurbished and so on and so forth. But yes, guys, I think looking at the time, that is about it. We are going to have to wrap this episode up right over here. So thank you all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate every view, every like. And yeah, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I will appreciate it very much. And that way I will see you all in the next one. So cheerio for now.